Hi, I'm Becca from My Crazy Good Life. Today we're making minestrone soup. This is a vegetable-packed, warming soup that takes about 30 minutes to get on the table, and it's got a full cup of vegetables per serving. The first thing that we're gonna do is saute our vegetables. I'm using an electric pressure cooker, but you can cook this on the stovetop as well. 1 cup of diced onion, 2½ cups of diced celery, 2½ cups of diced carrots, 2 cups of zucchini. After the veggies have started to saute for a few minutes, we're going to go ahead and add in the seasonings. 1½ teaspoons oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of basil, 1 teaspoon of sage, 2 teaspoons of garlic, 1 teaspoon of parsley. This recipe calls for 2 bay leaves. They have a ton of seasoning in them, but you don't eat them. So you're gonna stick them in at the beginning of the cook time, and then when the soup is done, you're gonna pull them out and throw them away. Once the vegetables have been sauteing for about 3 to 5 minutes, you're gonna just wait for them to become aromatic. We're gonna go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients in, and then close the lid on our pressure cooker. 1 cup of beans. I used both kidney beans and white beans. 1 cup whole wheat pasta, 2 32-ounce containers of vegetable broth, 1 can of diced tomatoes. We're gonna give it a stir and then put the lid on the pressure cooker. Make sure that you set your vent to ceiling. And this is actually a really quick soup. We just need the time for the noodles to cook because everything else is pretty warm and cooked after a few minutes sauteing. And so we're gonna do 4 minutes on high pressure, and then we'll add our spinach at the end. We do this so it doesn't get super soggy while the rest of the ingredients are cooking. Our soup just finished and we released the pressure from the pressure cooker, and now we're gonna open it up and see what it looks like. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna stick the spinach in. We didn't put it in before because we don't want it to be super wilted, and so we'll just add it at the end. You can dice it if you want. I think it's fine as is. And then you just stick the top on the pressure cooker again, and we're gonna give it maybe a minute to sit in there. We're not gonna start it again. We're just gonna close the lid and let it do its thing. I did wanna note a few things about the recipe. This is a very easy recipe to change. So if there are vegetables in here that you don't care for, you can swap them out with something that you like better. The only note of caution is that if you add extra pasta to this recipe, you're gonna wanna increase the seasonings because the pasta is gonna soak all that up, and it seems to just take away from the flavor. And you're also gonna wanna increase the broth because the pasta, the extra pasta, is gonna soak up a lot of that broth. So as long as you're careful about those things when you change the recipe, feel free to add and subtract veggies and maybe add your favorite spices in there. This is a super easy recipe to play with, so if you wanna play with your cooking skills, this is definitely the perfect one to do it. So the spinach is wilted perfectly and it looks delicious. Each serving of this minestrone soup has over 1 cup of vegetables. It makes it perfect as like a hidden veggie meal. You can get your kids to eat it, you can get your spouse to eat it. Anybody who doesn't love veggies is really gonna like the spices in this soup.